Childhood is like malware. You thought you deleted it, but it's still running in the background, slowing everything down. It doesn't just leave, it rebrands itself as your personality. Ever notice how hearing "we need to talk" feels like being told you have 24 hours to live? That's because once upon a time it meant you were about to get grounded for committing more crimes like spilling juice. Or why does lying in bed on a lazy Sunday feel illegal? That's your inner child screaming you forgot your homework. Turns out adulthood is just childhood with doubt, bad knees, and a lingering sense of doom. Your reward for surviving is existential dread, not gold stars. Your fear of confrontation, born the day you watched your cousin steal your favorite toy while adults whispered, "be the bigger person," which is code for emotionally suppress everything. Now you're 30, letting baristas spell your name as Glorp because correcting them feels like starting a civil war. Your productivity obsession, rooted in getting stickers for breeding. Now, if you're not hustling, you feel like a Wi-Fi-enabled houseplant. Alive, technically, but dead inside. We're all just oversized toddlers pretending we have it all together while emotionally bribing ourselves with overpriced coffee. Now let's blame your brain because frankly it deserves it. The amygdala, your brain's fear center, is like that overzealous security guard who thinks every spilled drink is a terrorist threat. It stores emotional memories, especially the traumatic ones, just to keep you safe. That's why a casual "we need to talk" feels like you're about to be exiled from the tribe. Then there's the prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thinking. But it's like the intern trying to organize files in an office run by a drunk raccoon. Meanwhile, the hippocampus helps consolidate memories, but it's not picky, mixing "mom hugged me" with "mom forgot me at the grocery store" into one emotional smoothie. Your brain's job isn't to make you happy, it's to keep you alive. Unfortunately, it thinks existential dread is part of the package. Enter attachment theory, courtesy of John Bowlby, which basically says your childhood relationships set the blueprint for all future connections. So if your parents responded to your needs inconsistently, congratulations, you've unlocked anxious attachment, aka texting "are you mad at me" after someone takes longer than 5 minutes to reply. Then there's Erik Erikson's psychological stages explaining how each childhood phase plants seeds of confidence or a lifelong fear of being the awkward kid at the party. You can't delete your childhood like an embarrassing tweet, but you can renegotiate the terms. Recognize the patterns, laugh at the absurdity, and maybe, just maybe, stop letting your third-grade self be the CEO of your emotions. Carl Jung called this the integration of the shadow self, but let's be real, it's just emotional adulting. Dr. Brené Brown, vulnerability and shame expert, advises to practice self-compassion. The shame from childhood thrives in secrecy and silence. By acknowledging your triggers without judgment, you strip them of their power. Basically, talk to yourself like you're not a disappointment because you aren't. Neuroscientist Dr. Dan Siegel came up with "name it to tame it." When you identify your emotional responses, like saying "I feel anxious because this reminds me of the one time my dad yelled at me for no reason," you activate the rational part of your brain. It's like giving your emotional chaos a GPS so it stops wandering aimlessly through your life. Trauma specialist Dr. Gabor Maté says, understand that it's not about what happened to you, but how you adapt to survive it. Healing isn't erasing the past, it's updating your emotional software so you're not running on a glitchy childhood version of Windows 95. So next time you feel irrationally guilty for relaxing, remind yourself you're not skipping homework anymore, you're just existing and that's enough.